Syed, really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me here for this interview. How are you doing?
No worries, I'm good. How about yourself, Ruckus? Happy to be here.
I am good as well. So, the reason I invited you on is because I saw some wins from you in the ecom campus. Could you explain what they were about?
Well, I ran this brand of mine for around a year before I decided to move on to sales. This was an e-commerce brand. It's like a high school project, I like to call it, because it's nothing too special. But for the onlookers, it looks quite sexy when you see the revenue. It's around 100K in around 8 months. And I owe it all. I owe it all to the teacher in the ecom campus, Professor Syed. He was the one that guided me through everything. And I was lucky enough to be one of the first few hundred students, one of the first few thousand students in HU. So there weren't very many modules or anything, but I used to get individual attention from this teacher of ours. There were no apprentices back then, and it was a Discord server. And there were only a couple hundred students inside the ecom campus back then, because there were only a couple thousand in HU, unlike now, where there's hundreds of thousands. So I was lucky enough to receive kind of individual attention from the e-commerce teacher, Professor Syed, and he guided me through every single step of the book, and which led to me pulling in 100K. The product wasn't quite a winner, to be honest. Like, it wasn't something that could build a very big or sustainable income. But the important thing is that the things that I learned about e-commerce from all the time that I spent interacting with him, I can carry over and apply it, spin the wheel of fortune again, carry over and apply it to a better product, and then boom, I'm rich. This is how it's going to happen here. It's clear as day in my mind. And right now I'm working on a couple other products as well.
From what you've seen, how different is the material and the things you've learned from the real world compared to what you can find out on the internet?
The thing is that, how I like to look at it is that when you don't pay with money, you pay with time. You could either waste your time browsing about the internet, looking for the right kind of relevant information and piecing it together, or you could join HU, where you can interact with the person who has actually made the modules, and he can answer your questions in real time, in case you have any. To me, it's pretty obvious what the best choice is, and it's $49. Like, for God's sake, like I still to this day get friends of mine coming up to me and asking me if it's really worth it. And they never join. They never end up joining, despite how much I tell them it is. You know what? I had a student from the real world that I've been lucky enough to be in touch with since a long time. He's now a crypto millionaire. I won't name him. He told me that not everyone. When I went to him and I told him that my friends they want to join HU, they say that they want to join, but they don't really join, and they call it a scam sometimes, and they just pussyfoot around it. Whereas all you have to do is pay $49 and just see what's inside, and then you could just leave if you don't like what's inside. So he told me not everyone wants to be a millionaire. Not everyone wants to make money. Not everyone is ambitious. It's not for everyone. We're only out here catering to a certain demographic. It's your choice at the end of the day if you want to join or not. So he told me not to waste my time on such people. Don't even bother trying to convince them.
Why do you think they only charge $50 for all the value they provide?
Because the thing is, like, if you were to charge anything less than $50, no one's going to give a shit. That's the thing. Like $50 is just enough for a person who's inside of the matrix to actually pay attention. Because if you give such a resource away for $19, they're not going to really give it the due respect that it deserves. When you pay $50 for something and you're an average person, so $50 is like a fair chunk of money. It costs more than a gym membership, or about the same as a gym membership here in Dubai. So you're gonna at least look at it. You're gonna check in on it once in a while. Since I paid $50 for it, might as well spend some time inside of it. So the $50 mark is to weed out the non-serious buyers. That's what I believe.
Did the Wins channel have any kind of impact on you?
The Wins channel, yeah, it does. It does. When I look at people winning with e-commerce, especially, I fully believe that it is possible. It reinstills the fact that in my mind that there is a lot of money to be made. There's no such thing as saturation. especially when it comes to e-commerce, since it's $1 billion expanding industry. It grows by $1 billion. It grew by, I think Professor Syed mentioned this in one of his modules, that the e-commerce industry grew by around $3.5 million, $3.5 billion with a B. Sorry. Don't quote me on that, but it's around 3.5 billion in the past 5 years. So, yeah. An industry like that, which is, and it's continuing to grow. So why can't you get in the middle of the money that's moving already? You can. There's more money that's about to move. You can always get in between it. I reckon certain people tend to use saturation as a cop-out. They tell it to themselves so that they don't have to try very hard. So they give themselves permission to quit halfway through. I didn't quit SMMA because it was too saturated. I just didn't fucking like it. I genuinely did not like the business model. I genuinely did not like dealing with people that had no respect for me. I genuinely did not like staying up late. And staying up late and like not being able to see the sun, it fucks with your mental health. Whereas with e-commerce, this doesn't have to take place. Whereas with freelancing or copywriting, this doesn't have to take place. You can work on your time. You don't have to stay up all night cold calling people from another country, from the other side of the world, being at their mercy.